Hello guys, my name is Ryan Frenico and today I'm going to explain on what I did on character place and simulation on Folio 1. Here are a little content glossary for all of the contents in my presentation file. As a little example of what kind of topics we're going to discuss on the weekly assignments. On week 1, my observation basically are based on my fear of heights and rides that involves heights pretty much. By emphasizing the perspective looking up, I basically emphasize the fear that I get when it comes to looking upwards to these crazy rides. So this is an illustration that I would make. Here are some inspiration and photo images that I took. A big inspiration is from Godzilla Minus One. Week 2, I'm exploring tinkering, and I basically manipulate the reflective properties of a Red Bull can and make it as a depth map. Then it became like a protrude depth map that are based on the light and darks of the photos. Here's my working process. I experimented a lot with the reflection and basically finally get to create a very high contrast black and white that I can use as my depth map. Big inspiration came from the Bean, or you could call it Cloudgate by Anish Kapoor. On week 3, I basically turned a lot of like chairs everywhere around Melbourne and reimagined them into like animals basically, and distorted it and basically composited it with Puppet Warp and Photoshop to basically put them back into the nature. This is my favorite topic for the whole CPS course, and yeah, I look forward to expand on it in the future for sure. This is a big reference from Edouard Martinet. He used a lot of spare parts from engines to recreate animals as well. This is why, big inspiration for me. Week 4, basically, I'm creating one of the Saturn's moon, Enceladus, via Unreal. Basically, I want to try to give the feeling to the audience of how the moon looks like back then, before there's a lot of resources on how the moon is looking like, because we haven't been able to reach Enceladus at this point, and basically this is like a realistic depiction on what I'm cooking on Unreal. Basically, here are some reference and final renders on how it's looking like on a little bit of a day and night cycle, on how the geyser are looking like, the geysers that are spouting from here. And huge inspiration for me is from George Méliès's Trip to the Moon. This is a black and white movie about going to the moon before basically having the resources to actually go to the moon. So I was hoping to give the same feeling through Unreal, because it is known for its capability to produce highly realistic pieces over there. So that's what I'm trying to aim. And week 5, for object-oriented ontology, I'm thinking of cells and how they have their own will and will react despite human interactions. human involvement at all. This is an example that I created, like a white blood cell is attacking the germs inside the body, and the second picture here is um, basically attacking a germ as well outside of the body. So, despite the human involvement, they still act upon on their own. And basically, I create a mix of illustration and blending options, blending layers, and everything to recreate and visualize how it's looking like. Here are some inspiration. Is Immortality of Two is a project that involves the tempering of both cells and art form, and this is a pretty creative inspiration for me to make this project. Here are some collage on my works, and you can click the link in the picture to access this video. And yeah, I mean, my conclusion is basically I learned a lot in this course, and just like I said before, my week 3 and week 4 has been a great influence for me, and I will continue to develop all my past works from this folio 1. And here are some citations basically of all the reference and links that I took. And yeah, thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.